Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Monday the 19th of March 2018. I'm Darren Sinden, and you can follow me throughout the day on Twitter by using @ds_Pepperstone. Right, let's take a look at overnight changes and price moves to be aware of. It's a Monday, and so we're looking at things from a weekly perspective. I've highlighted the major moves here with this red vertical box. We'll just flag a couple of key movers over that period. Aussie dollar, US dollar. The Aussie weakening by around 2.3% over the last 7 days. Dollar CAD, the Canadian dollar giving ground of around 2.2%, and dollar rand, the rand weakening by around 1.6%. So I think these can all probably be traced back to trade concerns, some weak data out of Australia, of course, too, and perhaps the honeymoon period in South Africa for the new administration is waning. But as we'll see in a while, trade concerns and the possibility of more tariffs or an even greater conflict are weighing on the market's mind. In terms of cryptocurrencies, a poor week for both Bitcoin and Ether, but I must point out that Bitcoin is bouncing strongly back today and erasing most of those weekly losses shortly before we recorded the video. Right then, what's on the calendar? Events that may move the markets today. Well, first of all, just need to draw your attention to an event that's been going to be going on across the week, and that is the G20 meeting. World leaders gathering there, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail in due course. We've also had some key house price data out overnight. Firstly, just after midnight, the Rightmove house price index for the UK for March, and that showed month-on-month and year-on-year gains. And then in China at 1:30 we had house price index data for February, and again solid gains in terms of the way that house prices are moving there. To come then at 9 a.m. this morning GMT, we'll have industrial outputs data out of Italy for the month of January. We'll have more data from Italy at 10 o'clock in the form of its global trade balance data for January, and at the same time we'll see trade balance data for the wider Eurozone released, alongside construction output for January as well from the Eurozone. Jump forward then to 13:40 this afternoon, and the first of today's two central banker speeches. FOMC member Bostic is first up, as I say, at 13:40 GMT. 15:30 sees a 3-month and 6-month bill auction from the US, and then at 1800 it's the turn of the ECB's Mersh to speak. And if you're still in the market at 2100 tonight, we'll have New Zealand's Westpac Consumer Confidence Survey for the first quarter of 2018. Right, breaking news and comment then that's caught my eye overnight. First of all, as I've already mentioned, world leaders are heading to Buenos Aires, Argentina for this week's G20 summit. Regulation for cryptocurrencies is likely to be a key item on the agenda there. Meanwhile, speaking of world leaders, Vladimir Putin has won a new 6-year term as Russia's president in Sunday's election in a result described as a landslide victory by the Financial Times. Meanwhile, Japanese exports have risen for a 15th month in a row during February, but interestingly shipments to China fell sharply, and it was US trade that filled that gap. Right then, some food for thought and something to take away with you into the trading day and beyond. Why not think about this? As the G20 gathers in Argentina, concerns about further tariffs and a possible trade war initiated by the USA will be on the minds of the delegates. And research by Blackrock, the world's largest money manager, who have analysed 6 previous periods of trade tension over the last 15 years, has concluded that this is the biggest risk to FX stability in 2018. The chart here is of the Deutsche Bank Currency Volatility Index, overlaid with some key comments and points that have affected world's perceptions of trade. It'd be very interesting to see how trade is discussed and how this index performs over the course of the coming week. Right, time to take a look at the risk warning, please. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin is a risky business. If you're in any doubt about the risks involved in trading those products or the suitability of them for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representative.